is Josh McConkey joining us. He is a National Guard veteran and a former high school student of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. There's a lot that I want to talk to you about, a lot of questions here. But overall, if I can start with this, what is your take on this anti-ICE protest taking place in Minnesota? Because in our reporting, this is way past protesting. This has now moved to agitation.
Now, what you're seeing right now, I do emergency management as well as an Air Force reservist, as an EPLO, an emergency preparedness liaison officer. I talked with one of my colleagues who was there in Minneapolis doing the emergency management with boots on the ground. It's not peaceful. You know, when you're fanning those types of flames, that very dangerous rhetoric, it's more than just hyperbole. When they're comparing protesters to the Minnesotans that fought in the Civil War at the Battle of Gettysburg, it's more than just, inflammatory and hyperbole. It's dangerous. I know Governor Walz personally. I just want to reach out. Mr. Walz, please, you don't want, you talk about Renee Good, and that was a terrible tragedy that did not need to happen. He does not want any more blood on his hands. He is a leader. He needs to step up and tone down that rhetoric. People's lives are going to be on the line here. We don't need to see any more death or destruction.
You were a student of Governor Walz when he was a teacher. Is that correct?
Yeah, he was my world geography and sociology teacher when I was a freshman and then a senior in high school. A lot has changed since then. This was the early 90s, 1992, 93.
Can you describe what you remember about him?
Now, he was a great teacher. He was very involved. He was very likable. I don't think he got involved too much in politics at that time. He's from a rural town in Nebraska, West Point, Nebraska. So to see where he's at politically now it's bizarre. What stands out to you the most? Because we've seen Governor Walz's rise, obviously, when he was campaigning with then presidential hopeful Kamala Harris. I mean, he's a heartbeat away from the presidency. And he does have a lot of inflammatory remarks, specifically for the administration and law enforcement. Is there a difference in the man you knew versus the man today? Well, there's a huge difference in just even the man I met in 2017 at a national security conference while he was a congressman. And, he remembered stories about me, my brother, who was in trouble all the time. He knew my mom personally because of all of those types of issues. It was very personable. And just he made that turn when he started campaigning for governor and just took those hard left turns. Very disappointing. And then you see him on the national scale with all that prominence. So many things came out. He didn't retire a command sergeant major. He made those comments about being in combat, had never deployed. I myself have served in combat. I was in Iraq in 2007. I carried body bags of American heroes. And those things were very disappointing. And there's been a lot of changes, at least in the last 30 years for sure, since I was in high school.
I appreciate you sharing your personal story, and thank you for your service. It's not just the governor. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey continues to stand in the way of ICE enforcement or ICE operations, that would, he says this, any military deployment would exacerbate tensions in Minnesota's largest city. He's talking about if this continues, if ICE continues their operations or if it gets bigger. He says everything would be fine once, listen to this, federal agents leave the area. Watch.
The second these ICE agents leave the city, I'm telling you, you're going to have calm in Minneapolis, and you will continue to see the great comeback that we had been experiencing. Let us get back to that comeback. Let us live in peace. Let us have businesses that are open and daycares where you don't need to escort staff to and from. Let us live in a place where, look, in Minneapolis, we'll stand up. If we have to sled down ice hills to get to a protest, we'll do that. If we've got to make sure that people are escorted to the grocery store, we'll do that. But truthfully, we want to get back to a place where we can just love on our city, do our daily activities, just like any other town in America.
Josh, does that sound like calming the situation to you?
Well, the previous comments made were just more than inflammatory and very dangerous. If things are so peaceful, why is Governor Walz calling in the Minnesota National Guard? I mean, things are clearly out of hand. We can all see on the news that the protests are clearly not peaceful, and somebody's going to get hurt.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.